Thank you very much, and very good morning, and welcome to Make UK's conference. Thank you, Steph, for that great introduction. It's always absolutely fantastic to see so many familiar faces, and indeed, today we have quite a few new faces with us, so I hope you enjoy what we've got in store for you today, celebrating the brilliance of the UK manufacturing industry. I'm delighted also that the farmers are keen to be part of our conference, so we might see them a little bit later as we go through the conference today. But today is about rebuilding the foundations of our brilliant industry, to connect up businesses around the country, to hear new and exciting insights from the industry's leading voices, and to look at the year ahead. That is why this is the National Manufacturing Conference. This year's event is packed with high-profile speakers, as Steph told us, from across the political spectrum. We'll be hearing from Robert Peston, so that will be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. He'll be giving his expert analysis on the political and economic landscape. And later in the day, we'll be joined by speakers from both sides of the political spectrum. And Steph's right, you really don't want to miss the 2:15 slot. That's particularly important. Our conference will end with a remarkable story of Trunky, a fantastic piece of British innovation and manufacturing from Dragon's Den all the way to Make UK's national conference. And as always, Steph will be guiding us through the day with her brilliance, and we're very grateful for Steph for doing it again. I'd like to start today by first of all thanking Lord John Hutton. He's been the chair of Make UK, and he'll be stepping down at the end of March, having served Make UK through a very challenging period for our industry and ensured that manufacturing was heard at the heart of government. We've been very fortunate to have John as our chair, and we're incredibly grateful for the work he's done for Make UK. I know that he will continue to be a great advocate for our sector, and he leaves us in a much better place than he started with. So thank you, John, for everything you've done for Make UK. Thank you. So on the other side, I'd like to welcome Make UK's incoming chair, who is Lord Richard Harrington, sitting down the front here. Richard brings a wealth of experience to the role, having held several ministerial positions, including Minister for Business and Industry. We used to meet every Wednesday alongside a few other people in the audience today when he was Business Minister, and most recently led the previous government's review onto foreign direct investment into the UK, the Harrington Review. Richard has also a particular commitment to apprenticeships, having been chair of the Apprentice Delivery Board. Richard now sits as a crossbencher, so no political affiliation, in the House of Lords, and advises the current government and many other businesses from his position of great experience. Richard is a committed and passionate supporter of manufacturing, and we all look forward to working with him to enhance the role of Make UK as a powerful voice for business. So welcome, Richard. So since our 2024 National Conference, we can safely say it's been an eventful 12 months. Most notably, we've seen the election of a Labour government for the first time since 2010, and the groundbreaking policy ideas that's going to impact our sector. Good and bad groundbreaking ideas. If you heard Alistair Campbell and Rory Stewart last year, this would not have been a shock. I think they predicted this change very accurately. What we can say is that we've witnessed a realignment of British politics, and Make UK have played a significant role in championing the manufacturing sector at the heart of government. Over the past 12 months, we've been at the heart of the conversations and debates taking place across Westminster, whether that's on skills, employment rights, exports, supply chain, energy costs, industrial strategy, all of it we've been totally involved in, championing the sector at every opportunity with the senior ministers in the government. And there's a lot of optimism for the sector in 2025 and beyond. So to those who say that manufacturing is an outdated sector in the UK, we say it is the driver of economic growth and the central enabler of a net zero economy. But we must have a clear set of national priorities and coherent joined-up government policies to take full advantage of the opportunities over the next 10 years. We need a new industrial strategy. The new industrial strategy is an opportunity to have a long-term, robust plan that puts manufacturing at the centre of the UK's industrial future. And Make UK are proud to have led the campaign for an industrial strategy and will continue to do so, ensuring that we see more flesh on the bones for manufacturing and have a clear direction and priorities which are vital to the UK's economic growth. The industrial strategy is the groundwork for manufacturing success in this country. So to those that say that manufacturing is not the priority for investment, we say look at the many examples of investment over the past year across our country. The sector's had some fabulous success stories that highlight the brilliance of our manufacturing industry. Stories such as Nissan securing a £50 million investment to build a new manufacturing site in Sunderland, Jaguar Land Rover planning to invest £65 million in their expansion in Wolverhampton, Brompton Bikes plans to open a new factory in Ashford, creating 2,500 high-quality jobs, or Schneider's new £42 million plant in Scarborough, which I had the privilege of going to the opening of recently. I could be here all day talking about these great successes and the excellent ways forward of many of you here today, but it highlights that the sector is growing and creating high-quality jobs in every area of the country. This is manufacturing success without an industrial strategy. So just imagine what it's like if we get our act together and have a clear set of priorities for the next decade. We say the opportunity is there. It is real and must be a top priority for this government. And Make UK will continue working to ensure that the industrial strategy gives the manufacturing sector the tools to grow for the next decade in particular. Yet despite this optimism, our industry faces challenges. We're all now very conscious of those. The tax changes in the 2024 budget have created significant challenges to all businesses, including the manufacturing sector. These changes have put a major strain on the investment in the sector at a time when we need to release those shackles and encourage investment and growth. I know these changes have been incredibly difficult for industry and all of you in this room, but you can be rest assured that Make UK continues to speak to government every week and work with ministers to mitigate against these changes that we've seen, which cumulatively, as they stand, really risk putting a stranglehold on short-term investment and jobs in this country. The good news is that they are listening. They want our input, and I believe they believe in the importance of the sector. And we'll hear some of that, I hope, later today. So we say the government must now build a business environment to encourage growth, provide incentives for investment and scaling innovation in this country, and work together now to help us reduce business costs. Skills and labour shortages are another challenge facing manufacturers up and down the country. We're clear that in order to provide economic growth, the zero-carbon industry of the future, and the innovative technology developments that the UK is famous for, we must support upskilling and retraining the workforce of the future, equipped with the skills of the future. Our education system must set vocational skills development as a priority to encourage the skills we need for the future at a very early age in our system. The trade environment for manufacturers is going to be a significant challenge in 2025. External factors such as the change in the United States trade policy, which seems to change every day at the moment, will impact a number of sectors, including our own. We continue to believe in free and fair trade, but we do need the government to react with agility to protect our domestic manufacturing when it's required. As we start to approach this new era for global trade, we say the UK must clearly recognise the impact of these changes on our industry and create a long-term plan to prevent harmful global trade policies impacting our trade and our export market. Our relationship with the EU is crucial to creating a strong trade environment for British manufacturing. We welcome the government's plan to reset that relationship with the EU, and manufacturers are very keen to encourage the government to go further and seek closer regulatory alignment with the EU. Global conflicts present difficult challenges, not just for our industry, but for the whole of the country. As war rages on in Europe due to the barbaric invasion of Ukraine by Russia, it has highlighted that we must do more as a country to ensure that we have the capabilities to defend ourselves and our allies. The UK has some world-leading manufacturers in the defence sector, and with defence rightly being identified as one of the priority sectors for the UK economy, we must start to capitalise on our research and innovation capabilities to make sure the defence sector is leading the way globally for many years to come. We must take a different approach to defence procurement, taking full advantage of the innovation and agility within our SME community, and we were very pleased to see the announcements yesterday by the Prime Minister in that regard. Presently, the UK and Europe's defence procurement is far too stretched. In Europe, just if you think about Europe alone, just the European countries, there are 173 weapon systems used across land, sea and air. The US, which is a far bigger defence provider, has just 33. It's rationalised down. We must streamline our defence procurement across Europe by using funds, resources and our manufacturing capabilities effectively to really restore that rich history in defence manufacturing and our world-leading innovation. The UK is best placed to lead this change, and we will rise to that challenge. And we must address industrial energy costs. Our costs are around 50% more expensive than the rest of Europe, and twice that of the United States. Comparisons with some of the energy-producing countries don't even bear thinking about compared to the energy costs that we suffer in this country. And if we look at the economics, industrial output is directly linked to energy costs. Those with lower energy costs are more efficient and can produce more competitively. High costs impact jobs and investment, and we say that the government must now address industrial energy costs as an urgent priority in this country. Since the Industrial Revolution, every major period of industrial transformation has been on turbocharged with access to cheaper energy, and its absence at the moment is holding back the country. However, the most important challenge facing the sector is ensuring the government upholds its promises made to the manufacturing sector. The government has promised a sectoral approach to industrial strategy, which means that advanced manufacturing will play a prominent role. Furthermore, the government has promised to build a business tax system that incentivises investment and encourages investment in our economy to keep innovation in the UK and scaling it up to production, something we've been woefully poor at over the last couple of decades. Most importantly, the government has promised to deliver economic growth across the country. These promises are positive messages to our industry. However, actions must speak louder than words, and now's the time. We say now is the time to deliver those manifesto promises and deliver the change that businesses across the UK desperately need, with a focus on our world-class SMEs, the heartbeat of Make UK membership. We want to see a formal review of the skills and labour shortages across the UK. Make UK are spearheading this challenge through our Industrial Strategy Skills Commission. The Commission is working hard to get the answers on how we get the right skills for the future, ensuring more young people get the opportunity to learn these new skills, develop technologies, and lead the sector to its bright future. We are delighted to have been joined on this commission by some leading voices and thinkers in the skills space, and under the expert cross-party chairmanship of Robert Halfon and Lord Tom Watson. The recommendations from this commission will be released in April, and we'll be actively working with government to ensure we have the skills and the workforce of the future as a result of it. We must also see each of the government's strategies that are in place that impact our sector closely aligned. The Defence Industrial Strategy, the Industrial Strategy itself, the Advanced Manufacturing Plan, the Skills Strategy, the Energy Strategy, the Trade Strategy must work in close alignment to ensure that the whole of the manufacturing sector benefits. The Industrial Strategy should include an Advanced Manufacturing Council, which must be industry-led and be responsible for the delivery of the Advanced Manufacturing Sector Growth Plan. And in regard to the Defence Industrial Strategy, we are pleased to see a commitment by this government to increase defence spending to 2.5% of GDP. It is no secret that Europe has not been meeting its targets in defence spending over recent decades. In fact, since 1992, European NATO countries have been underspending the NATO 2% of GDP target by around $1.6 trillion. Nevertheless, we must concentrate on building sovereign capability to ensure freedom of action. The Defence Industrial Strategy must also include reform to ensure our brilliant and innovative SMEs get materially involved in defence procurement pipeline, ensuring that across the UK supply chain we are leading the way on onshoring our defence capabilities and protect ourselves in the process and our allies. So as a sector, we're going to work together to put pressure on the government to deliver their promises for the sector. We will work together to ensure that the industrial strategy has manufacturing at its heart, that businesses have a fair taxation system, particularly around business rates reform, which is coming up, and that the government puts policies in place to encourage economic growth in every corner of the UK, from Dartmouth to Darlington, from Swansea to Sunderland. And Make UK's report, Scaling Up British Industry, which is published today in partnership with Civitas and the ERA Foundation, outlines just what we can do to encourage this economic growth that we desperately need. We can ignite growth by introducing enhanced allowances to turbo boost Britain's small and medium-sized enterprises. This would encourage SMEs to reinvest in their growth, improve productivity, and adapt those new digital technologies, helping them to scale up, create jobs, and boost economic growth across the whole of the country. We say that we must start taking bold steps now to boost the economic prosperity of the UK. For Britain's manufacturing sector, that starts today. Britain's manufacturers have the optimism and the desire to deliver the positive changes needed for our economy. The government have the optimism and the correct promises to help manufacturers deliver these changes. However, now is the time for political promises to turn into actions. When manufacturers have optimism and confidence, very little can stop us. The success stories of many of our members show that the UK is a fantastic place to innovate and make things, and we must continue to spread this optimism about our sector. Manufacturers are ready for this challenge, and Make UK are going to be here every day fighting on your behalf. So let's continue to work together to reindustrialise and make manufacturing the backbone of the British economy once again. So thank you very much for supporting Make UK, and I really hope you have a great conference. Thank you very much for listening.